You step off the escalator. The carpet feels oddly soft. The music, calm. The lighting, just warm enough to make you forget you're in a rush. And before you even realize it, you've slowed down. That wasn't by accident. Airports aren't just built for transit, they're built for spending. Every cent, every sign, every friendly reminder that your gate is only 8 minutes away, it's all part of a behavioral blueprint designed to guide your choices and open your wallet. So the next time you grab a snack you didn't need or walk out with a bottle of cologne you weren't even looking for, don't blame impulse, blame design. Let's walk through the tricks, starting with the carpet under your feet. You've heard it 1,000 times. Arrive 2 hours early for domestic, 3 for international. It sounds like good advice. It feels responsible. But here's what nobody tells you. Early arrival isn't just for security delays. It's for shopping. The longer you're stuck in the terminal, the more likely you are to buy something. That overpriced snack, that impulse neck pillow, that duty-free cologne you didn't even like until you had time to sample it more than once. It's behavioral economics, and airports are built for it. Airlines and airports know this. In fact, some airports collaborate directly with retailers to optimize dwell time, how long passengers linger before boarding. And what increases dwell time? Longer check-in windows, earlier arrival recommendations, fewer food alternatives once you're past security. So you're hungry, you're early, and your gate's still 90 minutes away. That sandwich you'd never glance at outside? Now it looks kind of tempting. Next time an airline tells you to arrive extra early, just ask yourself, who really benefits from that buffer? You made it through TSA. You survived the bag shuffle, the belt removal, the awkward pat-down. Now what? Welcome to the zone airports love to design, the shopping trap disguised as a place to catch your breath. Airports call it the recomposure area, that peaceful corridor right after security. But peaceful isn't the point. It's a setup. After the stress of TSA, your brain is tired, your defenses are down. That's exactly when you're most vulnerable to ambient lighting, sleek storefronts, and those glistening bottles of perfume. Have you ever noticed this slow walk trap after TSA? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know how many of us actually caught it before watching this. Ever notice you can't get to your gate without passing the duty-free store? That's not poor planning. It's perfect design. Airports intentionally route foot traffic through shopping zones, sometimes more than once, to maximize the number of accidental purchases. Duty-free shops often curve to the left, and that's not random. Most travelers are right-handed, pulling their bag on the right. That subtly shifts their gaze to the right, where stores and displays are waiting to catch their eye. Massage chairs, nap pods, plants, and soft lighting. These aren't just there for comfort. They're calculated to lower stress levels and increase the odds that you'll indulge. Studies show relaxed travelers spend significantly more than anxious ones. You've probably seen them, those gentle little signs tucked along the corridor. Gate C14, 8 minutes walk. They look helpful, almost caring, like the airport just wants you to relax. And that's exactly the point. Because when you know your gate isn't far and you've got time to spare, you stop rushing. You slow down. Maybe you pop into that boutique you would have skipped, or grab a snack, just because. It's subtle, but effective. The goal isn't to get you to your gate faster. It's to gently convince you that you've got time to shop. And the less anxious you feel, the more open your wallet becomes. Ever notice how airport stores feel so open and welcoming? It's no accident. Natural light floods the space, making it feel less like a store and more like a place you'd casually step into without thinking twice. Bright, spacious environments lower your guard, and that $24 snack tin starts to feel oddly reasonable. But it doesn't stop there. Once you're inside, the layout does the rest. See those winding aisles, zigzagging like a mini IKEA? That's the serpentine effect. It forces you to pass by more shelves, more temptations, more moments to say, why not? Studies show these designs can boost retail revenue by up to 60%. From the lighting to the layout, it's all part of the same blueprint. Guide your feet soften your focus, and turn your attention and your wallet exactly where they want it. Airports aren't just malls, they're curated cultural experiences. From live music to regional food stalls, they recreate the feeling of a local market. It feels authentic, personal, which makes you more willing to part with your money. And here's the kicker. Even a 1-hour delay can lead to $7 extra spending per passenger. That's why modern airports try to feel more like shopping centers than transit hubs. Because when you're relaxed, waiting, and just a little bored, you buy. At first glance, boarding groups seem like a smart way to keep things orderly. But they're doing more than organizing passengers, they're organizing status. That little Group 7 printed on your boarding pass? It's more than a number, it's a nudge. Because the second you see people from Group 2 gliding past you, early, unbothered, already halfway down the jet bridge, you feel it. That subtle twinge of less than. It might feel like you're just waiting to board, but really, you're being lined up by status. And that's no accident. You're not imagining the hierarchy. It's been carefully designed to trigger social comparison. The more groups they add, the more space there is to feel left out. And when being in Group 2 suddenly means you get overhead bin space, extra time to settle in, and the quiet dignity of not sprinting with your backpack flopping, well, Group 7 starts to feel like the back of the cafeteria. That's where the offers roll in. Board early with our credit card. Upgrade for priority access. Reserve your seat now. These aren't just perks. They're emotional band-aids sold at $20 to $99 a pop. You think you're buying convenience, but you're buying relief from a feeling they helped create in the first place. The result? More passengers paying for extras they wouldn't have cared about if Group 7 didn't exist. So the next time you get that sinking feeling watching other groups walk ahead of you, just remember, the line isn't random, it's strategic, and you were never meant to feel neutral about it. You're finally at the gate, a little tired, a little bored. You pull out your phone, tap on Wi-Fi, and there it is, free airport Wi-Fi. Click here to connect. No password, no fuss, just sweet, sweet internet. Feels like a small win, until you hit the terms and conditions. To connect, you're asked for an email or a phone number, or maybe just to watch a quick ad. No big deal, right? But hidden behind that agree button is something bigger. Permission to track you, not just for that session, but far beyond it. And once you hit connect, the system knows exactly where you are, minutes from your gate, scrolling, waiting, more persuadable than you think. That's when the offers start rolling in. Lounge passes, travel insurance, perfume discounts, ads for snacks you've walked past, now showing up in your feed like magic. You think you're checking email, but they're checking you, and if you gave them your phone number, that gateside scroll turns into app alerts, WhatsApp promos, and personalized nudges across your next dozen clicks. This isn't illegal, it's behavioral design. And for airports, it's booming. That doesn't mean you shouldn't connect, but it does mean you should know what you're connecting to. Use a VPN if you can, or turn on your mobile hotspot and keep your data yours. Because in airports, just like in life, anything labeled free usually comes with a cost. You just don't see it until you've already paid. You finally clear TSA. You're tired, you're hungry, and the terminal fills the air with 5 different kinds of comfort food. You head toward the food court thinking you'll grab something quick, but then it hits you. $18 for a sad-looking wrap and a bottle of water. No sides, no napkin, just hunger and regret. Why is everything so expensive? Because the airport knows you have nowhere else to go. No corner deli, no food delivery, no competition. Once you're past security, you're trapped in a sealed-off shopping mall, and everything inside is priced like they know it. A plain bagel and a small coffee can set you back $11. A granola bar? $4. Even bottled water costs double. And it's not about quality, it's about control. When your options disappear, prices go up because they can. So next time, either pack your own snacks or brace yourself. Because at the airport, your hunger isn't a need, it's an opportunity. And if packing feels like a hassle, there's one more option worth considering. Believe it or not, the better deal might actually be waiting for you on the plane. I once paid $17 for a tuna sandwich at the terminal that tasted like sadness and regret. Never again. If you have a co-branded credit card with the airline you're flying, you might already get 20 to 25% off in-flight purchases. That same $18 could get you a full snack box on board, delivered to your seat, no greasy bags, no juggling food and boarding passes, and no long lines. It might not be gourmet, but at least it comes with a tray and a little more peace of mind. You're on the way to your gate. You suddenly remember you need some cash for that taxi at arrival. And right there, next to Starbucks, an ATM glows like a beacon. Swipe, tap, done. But that quick withdrawal? It probably just cost you more than your overpriced latte. Take my friend Mark. He was heading to Rome, landed in JFK for a layover, and pulled $100 from an airport ATM. A week later, his statement showed $112 missing after the $3 fee, a 3% foreign transaction charge, and a shady exchange rate that quietly skimmed another 6%. He didn't do anything wrong. He just did what most people do, grabbed cash without reading the fine print. And that's the trap. See, many airport ATMs aren't run by your bank. They're owned by third-party companies who specialize in catching you when you're tired, in a rush, and unfamiliar with your surroundings. Their machines are everywhere, high traffic zones, zero signage warning you about fees. And that moment when the screen asks, "Accept this conversion rate," that's the bait. Always hit decline. Your bank's rate is almost always better. It's not bad luck, it's built that way. These machines are designed to profit from decision fatigue. You're not just paying for cash, you're paying because you're the perfect customer, distracted, jet-lagged, and one tap away from a 12% upcharge. So what's the smarter move? Withdraw cash before you get to the airport. Or better yet, skip cash entirely. Use a travel credit card with no foreign transaction fees and tap your way through the trip. Because that airport ATM isn't just a machine, it's a vending booth for your wallet, and it always takes more than it gives. You show up at the gate. It's crowded. People are circling like hawks for bin space, and the vibe's a little off. Then you hear it. We're looking for volunteers to take a later flight. Translation? The plane's full, but the airline sold more tickets than seats. On purpose. This isn't a glitch. It's strategy. Airlines know a certain number of people will miss their flight. They've got decades of data to back it up, so they oversell, just a little, expecting a few no-shows. But when everyone actually shows up, that's when they call for volunteers. At this point, you're in a live auction. They'll start low, maybe $200 in vouchers. But if nobody bites, that number climbs fast. We're talking $600, $800, even $1,200 plus hotel, meal credits, or a free upgrade on your next flight. It's real and legal. So if you're not in a rush, play it smart. Don't raise your hand too early. Wait until the offers hit their peak. Confirm exactly what you're getting in writing, and make sure your rebooked seat isn't middle row, last boarding group. Now, if your schedule's tight, you want to avoid being the one bumped. Here's how. Check in early, show up on time, and select a seat, even if it costs a bit. Passengers without assigned seats are usually the first to be cut, and if they bump you without your consent, you're owed more than an apology. Under federal rules, you could be entitled to up to 400% of your one-way fare in cash, capped at $550. Not a voucher, actual money, but you'll have to ask. Overbooking is a gamble airlines take every day. Sometimes it's your loss, but with the right timing, it can be your jackpot. You're casually checking flights. Dallas to New York, maybe next month. Suddenly, your screen lights up with urgency. Only one seat left at this price. Your heart rate spikes. You weren't even sure you were going, but now, it feels like if you don't book in the next 20 seconds, the universe might close the door forever. So you book. Fast. You don't compare. You don't breathe. You just click. And then, out of curiosity, you check the same flight an hour later. Same message. Only one seat left. Next morning, still there. That wasn't a real-time update. That was a psychological trigger. Airlines use this trick to tap into something powerful. FOMO, the fear of missing out. You're not just buying a seat anymore. You're trying not to lose one. The warning doesn't reflect how many actual seats are left on the plane. It usually refers to how many seats are left in a specific fare bucket, that is, at that exact price point. So no, the plane isn't down to one lonely seat in the back row. It just means the next cheapest option might be a few bucks more. But the urgency? That's deliberate. It's even sneakier with non-refundable fares. Once you lock it in, you're stuck, second-guessing the price or the trip won't matter. Airlines know that too. Want to outsmart the pop-up? Here's what helps. Open a private browser window or a different device and check again. If it still says one seat left, you've got time. Sites like Google Flights or Kayak can show broader price trends, so you're not flying blind. And if you're booking with American Airlines, remember, they'll hold your fare for 24 hours. No commitment needed. Don't let a glowing red message turn a maybe into a $400 mistake. That countdown isn't about seats, it's about control. You're almost there. Gate in sight, boarding in 20, and right as you pass the final stretch, it appears, glassy, glowing, seductive. The duty-free shop. It promises tax-free, exclusive offers, and a sense that you've somehow unlocked a special privilege just by flying internationally. But here's what makes duty-free different from the other airport traps. It's not just about money, it's about identity. After all the lines, the pat-downs, the overpriced coffee, the airport finally gives you a space that feels elevated, luxurious. A place where you're not just a traveler, you're a world citizen, someone who deserves a reward for making it this far. So you wander in, not because you need anything, but because it feels like a ritual, a celebration. You pick up a bottle of cologne or a fancy chocolate tin you'd never buy at home, and for some reason, it feels justified. You tell yourself it's cheaper, smarter, a good deal. But in most cases, it isn't. Liquor and cigarettes can sometimes be worth it, especially if they're heavily taxed back home. But that $90 skincare set or airport-exclusive watch, chances are you could have ordered it online for less, with no jet lag, no duty, and no stress. What duty-free really sells isn't a discount, it's a story. One that turns your tired, delayed, overpriced day into something that feels meaningful. A purchase that says, I travel, I belong, I reward myself, and that's the real price. Because the moment something becomes about identity instead of utility, your wallet opens wider and your judgment slips. So before you grab that box of truffles or that bottle of perfume, ask yourself, would I even want this if I weren't at an airport? Would I buy this if it didn't come wrapped in glass, spotlight, and travel brag energy? If the answer is no, just walk on. The plane won't leave without you. But that $98 impulse might follow you all the way home. So next time you're at the airport, hungry, early, aimless, take a breath. That neck pillow screaming limited time only, the signs whispering 8 minutes to gate, the free Wi-Fi asking for your email, and the $22 wrap that tastes like cardboard. None of it is random. Airports aren't just about getting you from A to B. They're designed to influence how you spend the time and the money in between. But now that you've seen how the game works, you don't have to play it on autopilot. Save this video, share it with a frequent flyer friend, and tell me, what airport trick have you fallen for? Or better yet, what's your go-to move to beat the system? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if you want more behind-the-scenes travel truths like this, hit that subscribe button. The more you know, the smoother and cheaper your next trip becomes.